Yes,
Hi Viramani, how are you?
I'm good, Rakesh. I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good too, thank you. So can you tell me something about yourself?
Yeah, myself, Veeramani. I have almost 14 years of experience into software testing, manual as well as automation testing. I have almost 10 years of experience into functional manual testing and 4 years in automation testing using Selenium. I have worked in Cognizant Technology Solutions. That is my first company, where I've been working as a functional test analyst for almost 7 years. Then I moved on to Congruent, one of the startup company in Chennai. There I've been working for almost 3.5 years.
Hmm.
So I've been working as an automation test engineer and also a senior tester there. So I worked in various US based and UK based projects as well.
Hmm.
The major domain that I have worked is life insurance, annuities, and also healthcare. So I did my schooling in my native Chennai, sorry, in my Madurai. So that is my
Mhm.
native. My parents are settled in Madurai and I am settled in Chennai for job.
Okay. So
Recently,
yeah, please go
yes,
ahead. Please go ahead. Yeah.
recently I have been working in a company in Bangalore, Triance Consulting Limited in Bangalore as a senior automation tester. So there I've been working for almost 6 months, sir.
Okay, great. So can you tell me something about the automation framework that you are working on?
Yeah, in automation frameworks wise, I have worked in page object model framework, data driven framework, and also page object model, data driven, and Cucumber based BDD frameworks.
Hmm. Okay. So what is the difference between Cucumber, BDD framework and data-driven framework?
Yeah, data driven framework is a starting initialization of the frameworks.
Mhm.
So where test data in testing wise, we have the test data. So that is kept as a major focus.
Mhm.
So based on the test data, each and every test cases are derived, and a framework is developed in automation. So that is a data driven framework where test data is used. But in case of BDD framework, each and every actions of the application, like a behavior of the application, are noted and they are developed using just automation scripts using Gherkin language. Um, so it is also called as Cucumber tool with the behavior driven development frameworks.
Mhm. Okay. So how do you run your test scripts?
Um, so initially I was using JUnit as a test automation framework for running the test scripts. So we have the test execution framework as JUnit using annotations as well. Then later on, I moved on to TestNG tool. So that is also a famous automation framework
Hmm.
that is widely used for page object model and BDD as well. Um, using all the annotations like at before, at after, a test. So we have developed the test execution framework using TestNG. Sir.
Mhm. Okay. Now let me share my screen. So I'll give you a
Yes.
scenario and you need to tell how you will develop the automation script for the same.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Hmm? Okay. Now you have to test the login module 10 times, right? And on the 11th time, you have to log in again to test some of the core features. So how will you accomplish this via Selenium automation?
Yeah. So we can use a login functionality, have the username and password.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Then?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to test it 10 times, um, so we can use a single script where proper username and password can be used for the continuous 10 times. So we can go for the Selenium frameworks like driver.findelement.send keys of username and driver.findelement.send keys of password. We can use those keywords.
Okay. What else?
Okay. The flow feature. So first 10 times we are just verifying the basic functionalities, whether the username is correct or the password is correct. Um, Password capability strength can be also done here. Incorrect username, incorrect password
So,
combinations.
right. So those are login scenarios. Okay. What you have to do is you have to test some of the core features after 11th time. Right. At the 11th time, you need to do that. So you will be adding an if condition also, that if your
Yes.
counter is greater than 10, then those particular assertions or those particular checkpoints, that particular code should execute. Right.
Yeah, we can do a for loop.
Yes.
For loop and if condition. If
Hmm.
the number n is greater than 10,
Hmm.
yeah, if the n is greater than 10, we
Mhm.
can test the core features as well.
Okay. Okay. Right. Right. And how will you do this? How will you accomplish this via TestNG?
Yeah, in TestNG, we can go for a annotations. Annotations are the most important in TestNG.
Mm,
So at before class, at before test, or at before method.
mm-hmm,
These three annotations can be used, that can be checked before the login of 11th time. Either the 10 times login code can be implemented there also. So at before class, at before test, and at before method. These three things can be used.
okay.
And we can implement the 11th time in the test code. Um, so so that after completing the before codes, it will go for that test execution exact code.
Mm. So are you aware about any feature in TestNG that can assist you to execute the code repeatedly, multiple times, the same code? Are you
Yes,
some? Yeah, yeah. So what is that?
invocation count, sir. There is
Correct,
a
correct. Mm,
invocation count. I have not used, but in frameworks we use the invocation count also, sir.
mm.
For in
So
order to execute multiple times or continuously for 10 times like that.
right, right. So you can use invocation count for
Yes,
invocation count equal to 11, and you can add if condition, right?
yes, yeah, right. That is not
Okay. Okay, now let's move to the next question.
sure.
Now you have you have to test a feature with 100 sets of data. So how will you do this? Via automation. So these are pure automation, real-time scenario-based questions.
Okay.
Hmm.
Can you please repeat the question, please?
Yeah. So you have to test a feature with 100 sets of data. The question is visible on the screen?
Yes, sir. You have
Yeah.
to test a feature with 100
Yeah.
sets of data.
Hmm.
How will you do this? Yeah, we can use a data-driven framework. So that
Absolutely.
is a
Hmm.
best thing. To my knowledge, like in my application, I have worked in a web application also.
Hmm.
So it is based out of HTML framework. So
Hmm.
uh, like 100 sets of data can be represented in an Excel sheet.
Hmm.
So each and every row, like 100 rows, can be derived as test data.
Hmm.
Um, So, for example, in order to create any or book any ticket in IRCTC, we need the username, password, and source destination points. So these can be entered as a test data in the Excel format, and all those 100 sets of data, ticket train number, ticket
mm,
details, all those things can be also in the Excel sheet, and the script can automatically take the data from the Excel sheet using the JXL or Apache POI libraries for
right,
Selenium, sir.
right. That was the correct answer. Okay, now, okay, I'm sharing my screen. Just a second. You have to tell the output of this Java program.
Yeah, sure.
Hmm? Is my screen visible?
Ah, yes, sir. Yeah,
Hmm? So what would be the
yes,
output of this Java program?
sure, sir. Let me check. So, inheritance concept is used here.
Hmm.
Superclass and subclass are also used here, sir.
Hmm.
So in the main method, we are creating an object using a new keyword,
Hmm.
and we are also calling the method for the method signature using the object D. Object
Hmm.
D is created here.
Yeah. So what would be the output of this program?
Output can be if the if there is anything on the method foo, it
Hmm.
will print the output, sir. Like for example, any calculations or anything on the method foo, it should print. This
Hmm.
for this program, output should be void only, sir.
Void.
Can print the void. Yes, sir.
Okay. So you means
So
mhm. You mean output would be one or two. Yeah.
yes. Um, Maybe I'm not sure what the
Hmm.
void foo returns.
Hmm.
Based on the method foo, it should be printing the output here. So
Hmm. Okay.
either
See,
like some garbage value, one or two or zero, something like that.
right. Any error you are expecting here to come?
I believe there should not be any errors because a method can be blank, empty also,
Hmm.
to my knowledge. Maybe
Okay.
I haven't tried in this way, sir.
No worries, no worries. See, the output of this program will be compiler error. Why so? Because this function is actually protected. Okay, so you are aware about access modifier in Java, right? So
Yes, yes, yes.
and this is in base. Default is derived. Okay. Now default access is more restrictive, right? Now whenever a derived class overrides anything that is more restrictive access cannot be given to the overridden function, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Protected
yeah,
public and private. Yeah.
yeah. Now if we make this program as public, then it will work without any error. If we have made this as protected, that is why it will give you a compile time error.
Maybe the access privilege is not that to access.
Yes, absolutely. So that's the access modifier issue. Okay, now let
Whatever.
me. Okay. hmm, okay. So this is one of the problem statement. Okay, is my screen visible now? Okay.
Yes,
See,
sir.
there are
Yeah.
there are two threads. One thread is printing an even number. Second thread is printing an odd number. Now you have to write a code in Java to print numbers 1 to n in increasing order. Are you getting the question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, can you please share your screen? If you need, I can copy this question in the chat.
Can you give the access to post
Yeah,
disable
yeah,
button?
yeah. I'm giving you the access. Yeah.
Got your
Now,
question.
yeah. Now you can share your screen. Yeah, it's visible.
Thank you. Phone to phone numbers, I can use a Java, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Java is only.
You can use any program. So you are comfortable with the Java programming language, right? So you
Yes,
can
sir.
use that. Hmm.
So we have the thread class itself
Mm-hmm.
in order to
Yes.
denoting two threads.
Right, right. You'll be creating two threads. Okay, great. Then,
The logic here. Printing an even number and printing an odd number. So T1 can
mm-hmm,
have the code for printing the even numbers only. So for that, we can go for integer variables.
mm-hmm.
Using the next int, we can get the numbers or whatever numbers the user inputs. So this is option. Directly, so int n denotes all the natural numbers, all the integer numbers also. Um,
Okay.
so we can use the system dot print. So there is a formula for even numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So if the number is divisible by 2 and provides a remainder as 0,
Mm.
then it should be an even number cell.
Okay.
So this is how even number format can be printed. Um, odd number has also a formula, but in that case, here, if the two threads are following with printing an even number and odd number,
Mm-hmm.
we are having already a set of code to print numbers 1 to n in increasing order.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the multi-threading concepts as well. There are two threads involved here.
Right. Do you have to create, do you feel that you have to create an object of this thread?
Uh, object.
So how will you start both the threads? How will you run them?
Yeah, we can call those threads. We can use the objects as well,
Mm-hmm.
like T1, T2, or the objects of the thread.
Mm-hmm.
In other case, we can also have some methods that are added to these threads that can print any numbers, natural numbers, 1 to n.
Okay.
Um, Apart from that, I have then like I have the code for even number and odd number.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. So and also I've tried threads, how to create threads. So,
Okay. Do you think this will give you the output?
so this can give the output for only even numbers, only
Mm-hmm.
printing even numbers only.
Mm-hmm.
And for printing odd numbers also, we have this formula for printing the odd number. If the number is um, not divisible by 2
Mm.
and providing any remainders, so those can be printed as odd numbers using if conditions. We can provide that.
Okay. And then we need the output as the you have to print the numbers 1 to n in increasing order. That should be the output.
We can call those two methods to print even and odd, or to have those even numbers and odd numbers with those threads. And if those two methods are available, we can we can have the code to print. We can use a for loop
Mm-hmm.
for int I equal to 0, I less than um, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. This code can print uh, printing the continuously all the numbers. This code can print all this stuff. So, so first initialization of I equal to 0, it will print the number 0. Then it will move on to 1, 2, 3, 4 till n numbers, whatever the odd and even numbers are also included in the side.
Okay. So do you feel that this will give you the output?
One second, sir, let me check it.
Mm-hmm.
So already they are given like there are already two threads that prints an even number, one other thread prints an odd number.
Mm-hmm.
So using that, we are going to print all the numbers from 1 to n in increasing order.
Mm-hmm.
Some logic is there to get those two threads and provide them as input for printing the other natural numbers. So whatever I have written is like printing the natural numbers, all the natural numbers from 1 to n directly also. Uh, so that's why I go for a for loop here. Because in case of printing an even number and odd number, we have a formula for printing that uh, divisible by 2 leaves and remainder of 0 is an even number,
Mm-hmm.
and that doesn't provide any zero remainder and provides any numbers that goes for a odd number. So that is the concept and logic of printing those even odd numbers here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me share my screen and show you the approach.
Sure.
Hmm. Now is the screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, what we will do is we'll create two threads and we will print even numbers with one thread and odd numbers with another thread. Okay, so you are creating two threads T1 and T2. This will be the syntax. Thread T1 equal to new thread, new runnable, right? You have to create that object. Thread to T2 equal to new thread, right? Now these two threads, once you have these two threads, right? Print odd number is a function that will print all the odd numbers till n. Okay, because we need series from 1 to n. Print even number is used to print all the even numbers till n. Then you will maintain a global counter variable, right? You will run this counter.
Yes.
Okay, if the counter is even in the thread T1, then wait for the thread T2 to print that even number. Okay, if the counter is odd in thread T2, then wait for thread T1 to print that odd number. Okay, so otherwise you can print that even number, increment the counter and notify the thread T1 to use the function notify, right? So this is a program, right? You can see we'll start with integer count equal to 1. We'll use one of the function to print odd numbers, right? The logic that you were telling, right? But you will have to keep in the while. If the count is even, then print, right? First while loop is
Yeah, I
about,
use yeah, I use if condition here we use while
right,
condition.
right. And then you can use this try catch exception. You will use because you have to handle that exception, right? Then you will print the number and you will
Yeah,
notify the second thread. Okay. Similarly, for you will have one function to print even numbers, right? So
yes.
again, we are using this. Are you aware about this?
Yes, sir. This
Yeah,
keyword denotes the
this keyword,
current existing.
right?
Yes.
Right. Then again, the same logic we will apply for odd. Sorry, for printing even number. Okay. Then we will
Okay.
print the number, and at the end we will have one driver code. Okay, in which we will give what kind of number. That is, you can give
In the
scanner
name
also. Yeah.
in equal to 10. Okay.
And you will
So what is
create an
art?
object.
Oh, art is the class name and the
Hmm.
MP is the object name.
Right, right.
Using a new keyword.
You will create this thread T1 here. You will create this thread T2 for printing even number, odd number, and finally you'll start both the threads. T1 dot start and T2 dot start. So you'll get the numbers up to n, whatever the values you
But it is
specify.
in the increasing order also.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is the approach and this is the program that you can write. Hmm.
Yeah, sure, sir. So counter is the variable used here. Using the
Right.
counter variable, we're working on it also.
Yeah. So that is
I
the
do remember. It's
global
been a
variable.
long time I've been working on threading, sir.
Yeah.
New
Yeah.
runnable
Yeah.
thread, like that.
No worries. No worries. That is absolutely fine. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, let's move to the next question.
Sure, sir.
How will you perform double click operation in Selenium?
Yeah, double click operations can be performed in Selenium. Driver dot find element. Once we located the element using the
Mhm.
find element by ID or XPath name, class name, tag name, link text, partial text. So any kind of locators are used here. We can use that particular web element and we can use actions. Actions keyword is a major keyword used in Selenium to uh, find any element and perform any action on that particular web element.
Mhm.
So context click. So context click and is a major click that is used for double click
Mhm.
um, here. So it can be also built and performed as well, sir. So dot build and dot perform can be also used in order to execute the code.
Right. Now, how will you perform mouse over in Selenium?
Mouse over, mouse over is again an action in
Mhm.
Selenium. Most mouse and keyboard actions worked, can be implemented using actions keyword or actions class. So uh, actions A is equal to mu of actions of driver because it mainly goes for the driver. So then driver dot find element dot that particular action. For example, mouse over has the drag and drop. So
Hmm.
drag and drop can be also used, and mouse click can be also used. For mouse overing also, we can use either of the two keywords, and we can print the offset. Like coordinates can be also given x coordinates, move to a particular location, move to source or move to target, move to offset location of x and y coordinates can be given. So,
Mhm. Right, right. Okay, Veeramani, I am done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
yeah, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mhm. Yeah.
Thank you
So
so
thank
much
you
for the
so
question.
much. Yeah, thank you so much, Veeramani, for coming on our channel for this mock interview. And we wish
Yes.
you all the best for your career.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.